So we're tired of using the grinder, or our existing plasma cutter is just not making the cut. Now that's when we're looking at YESWELDER's cut series and consumables. But the big question then is, which one's right for me? So we're actually looking at 4 different models here. 2 that are considered a high frequency, and then 2 that are considered a non-high frequency. And my understanding is the non-high frequency is going to work with your plasma tables, so that way there's no interference in electronics on that. So 2 of them that I'm more familiar with is the Cut 55DS Pro non-high frequency and the Cut 65DS that's a non-high frequency. So these 2 are very similar. Only thing I've noticed difference is the actual plug-in for the torch itself. So the Cut 65 has a single port, whereas the Cut 55DS Pro has a couple extra leads with it for the arc start on it. So these 2 right here are pretty solid machines, but what's going to separate them, one, is going to be the price as well as the capabilities. So when you're looking at a Cut 55, that's going to give you a 1/2 inch on 110 and 4/5 max on a 220, which that's going to cover most people around the house, the farm, the shop, and so forth. So at the price point, this one right here is a banger, because this is actually less expensive than what you spend for the high frequency setup right now. But at the same time, not dropping the coin for the 65. But if you need a little bit more, such as on this right here, you're talking a max cut of 5/8 of an inch clean cut on 220. And then if you're talking on 220 max cut, you are 1/64 away from a 1-inch cut. Now I actually tested this on a 1-inch CV shaft, and it actually cut that all the way through. And that was a little bit of slag on the bottom side of it, dross, but hey, it actually cut it and it fell off. And that's what Papa said. If it doesn't fall off, you didn't cut it. So when I look at welders across the board, there's the Cut 50 and the Cut 55. Now these 2 right here are both a high frequency setup. So on the Cut 50, you're talking about $150 right now for a short time. And you're talking about a max cut on the 110 about 1/5 of an inch and 2/3 of an inch on 220. So it's a solid entry level cutter, but at the same time, that might be not enough for you, or you're looking to go into a non-high frequency. So, the thing that I've noticed about these right here is they both have the air supply as far as the regulator and the separator built into the housing on it. So you don't have a dangling, housing sitting back here. So you can run the port here as a quick connect, or you can use the male nurple that comes with it. So what's nice about both these machines is they're very similar as far as the LED display on it. So these right here are going to be set up right now. It's on a 110 with the provided adapter that comes with all of them, or you can run it on 220. So if you're on 110, you'll have a max amperage on the 55 at 35 amps. But when you actually bump it up to the 220, then you'll have a max up to the 55 amps. And you can change your post flow time from 5 seconds all the way up to 20 seconds, as well as change your units of measure as far as a bar or PSI once you've actually got your air supply connected to it. So generally this is going to range anywhere from 35 up to 60 PSI, and the compressor should not be more than 70. Now if you're on the 65DS, then your range is going to be from around 45 up to 90 PSI depending on your voltage, and the compressor should be at 110 or less. So when it comes to the Cut 65, this right here, it's a banger right here. I've used it several times. I've been very happy with it. I've been putting it to the test. So stainless, your 1/4 inch, 3/8, your sheet metal. I actually cut that using a pancake compressor, and it was keeping up with it. So to be able to run thinner material, you can get by with a very small volume compressor. But if you start cutting into 1/4 inch for extended time, or 1/2 or 1 inch, hey, you're going to need probably 30 or 60 gallon compressor to run this. But at the end of the day, this is a solid machine, and it's going to cut back on what you're spending on grinding rocks and the wear and tear, not to mention your health as far as the chance of those blades breaking. Hey, the Cut 65 DS is pretty solid. Again, if you're on this one right here and you're running 110, you have a max cut or max amperage of 45 amps. But then when you bump it up to the 220, it'll show you on the display here. Now you got a 65 amp capability. And you can also have the option on these to run them in 2T or 4T, which just means once you press the trigger, who's in control of the trigger from that point? Is it going to be the machine, or is it going to be the individual? So in addition to that, you've got you know, the consumables it comes with. Additional that you can get the ones for the different torches, as far as the 50 and the 55 and 65. You know, they've got the little consumable packs here. You get the extra little cups and a few other consumables that comes with. The different packs are available. So I know this was long-winded, but hey, when it comes to choosing the right plasma cutter, you've been saving your coin for quite a minute. Even if you use the finance options down in the link down below. Hey, I understand where you're at and having a solid machine and no buyer's remorse. The cut 55 and the 65 are both solid units, and for the price difference on them, hey, you might as well bump up to the 65 and do it right the first time. What do they say, buy once, cry once? Well, you won't be crying once you're not buying all those grinding rocks and discs and so forth at nearly 10 bucks a piece nowadays. Hey, this is a limited sale right now, so click on the link down below to find more detail. 50, 55 high frequency, 55 non-high frequency DS Pro, and the 65 DS Pro. Sound like mush mouth up here. Hey, but check it out, guys. You will not be disappointed.